welcome to another show. What the fuck happens to YouTube atheist comedian stickam fun? Trying to stay awake edition. Anyway, yes, stickam last night was pretty good. I yelled a few times. Anyway, yes, it was okay. We even did physics conversation that was not terribly, tedious and annoying. Really quite good, actually. Mr. Natural guy, he's becoming a regular, and he seems to know a lot about a lot of stuff, which is sort of interesting. Yeah. Yes, just good. Piero, most of Piero. I mean, the part that wasn't killed by, inebriants. Your usual regulars and such. Sub-DNA guy who always seems to get annoying as he degrades towards as the evening progresses. He just degrades with time. Becomes obstinate and irritating. And usual trolls and such. Not too many women's. A few just waved, said hi, and then they were gone. Sort of tragic. As evenings go, it was semi-productive. I'm trying to, get myself motivated. I don't know. I'm trying to get myself motivated. I don't even know if that. I am not trying to do it. Obviously, my brain has a program running that says it might be a good idea. Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of that. I've been watching these philosopher types. These a series of videos to be serious linked to. And I'm surprised they've been up for a month and they don't have a huge number of views. A lot of Dennett and Dawkins and, the rest of these talking head types, all PhD types. Most of it sucked. I mean, I have to concede that, most of it they're just talking back and forth to each other. Just, I don't know, incoherent drivel. But they have their moments where, they get into something actually interesting. This one, Moving Naturalism Forward, Day 2, morning, the second session. Seems like it's a pretty good one. I'm only halfway through it, but they're talking basically about some moral concepts, ethical concepts, utilitarian type. What is the life thing that we're valuing? As they're getting into a conversation about free will and determinism, which I didn't think they made much of. I think they kind of just talked around and around. The Dennett guy is sort of annoying on this free will subject because he's basically doing the old religious bullshit of it's not about the truth, it's about what people need to believe. And that's a dangerous reason to defend any kind of perspective or... it's just, if you're going to throw the truth in the garbage for the sake of convenience, that's just the definition of an inconvenient truth. Well, it's too bad. It's an inconvenient truth that you don't have free will. That's right. You're a product of your environment. The slices of it that left a mark on you. We're marked by exposure to things. Even my exposure to these conversations mark me. They change some of the mechanics, even if it's not directly or purposeful change. Even if it's not like I'm being convinced by their argument, I could be convinced by their lack of argument. The stupidity of their argument. Just like you could convert from being a religious kook by seeing a couple of religious kooks being kooky, and you can say, wait a minute, is that how I sound? Do I look that stupid? Do I sound that stupid? And you might reflect on what you are living for, what you're idealizing. It's like some of you trolly types out there. Maybe you should watch a few trolls and then maybe realize, oh, gee, I ought to find a better job. So anyways, it's semi-interesting anyway. It's interesting. I guess I shouldn't degrade it with some semi-comment. Just looking to see if I have a VloggerDome page open. I guess we could go to VloggerDome. This link should work, right? Any hope if it'll work? Let's see if it'll work. Oh, I don't know why that link doesn't work. I have to fix that. Yeah, it's not too good. The link doesn't work. That's kind of... Oh, there it worked. Okay, so it took me to the original VloggerDome page. Took its time, that's for sure. So I should be able to get out of there by erasing that, putting in some other index page or something. could just go all the way back to where it is. Yeah, that'll make it safer. Sure thing here. Sure thing. That should do the trick. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so I have started doing VloggerDome videos. So the first subject is free will. On the first page there. And so there's a 5-minute, 6-minute video on free will. And the idea is to have somebody play that video and respond to it. Or, alternatively, make a 5-minute video on a subject and I will play the video and respond to it. And the idea will be to link the videos and eventually have some sort of rating system for the argument and some sort of critique of the argument so far and, you know, mechanisms to make this interesting, but I can't really apply the mechanisms to make it more interesting until I have some content to work with. You know, some sort of, gotta have an argument to have an argument. Can't do the 2 men enter thing when only 1 man enters. You know, it just isn't quite the same. It's kind of not the same kind of porn if it's only got 1 person in it. Anyway, yeah, enough of that. Sorry, I'm a little, you know, I kept hoping I kept putting off making this video just as I'm saying, man, I'm just kind of low energy and such. Anyway, so let's just go through. So I've been watching some of these videos. This is semi-interesting. Like I said, some of it's kind of, you know, hit or miss. Some of it's good, some of it's just. I'm sort of disappointed, actually. These are PhD types and all these big brains and shit, and, you know, they say some just stupid things and just. You know, you're just saying, fuck. I wish I could have caught him on that. That's just crap. Anyway, Piero, yeah, this is a weird video of Piero's. I don't know, you know, he took like 3 videos and cut them together, which is okay. I mean, it made it sort of interesting and conversational, but I don't know if there was really any substance in the content. This is My Misery Me did a 2-slit experiment kind of video, just kind of going through what he doesn't understand or what he doesn't like about it or what it doesn't make sense to him. And you know, I can see where this gets a little irritating because we're all coming from different information pools, from different, you know, we all have our own little bits that we know well, and then we have bits we don't know so well, and so it's getting a little sloppy. So yeah, and I'm taking responsibility for some of that's my fault. I should be putting draft on some of these videos or do something with them. So I do have a response to the Piero's video that I already did, but I want to do a video on top of that video, and so maybe I'll only link the video underneath the video or some kind of thing, just because it's not it's kind of just a 40-minute video that nobody really needs to see. You know, because it just, you know, I just don't know we're resolving anything until we have a mechanism to resolve it through, you know, some sort of real draw me a picture kind of stuff, and I'm sort of searching for that. If anybody has the details, anybody has the information, I would appreciate if they can, you know, they can find it or something. But I would be interesting to know if somebody can find like a giant scale model of the 2-slit experiment, you know, that gives like dimensions. Like say if one of the slits was a foot wide, what would all the other dimensions be? I'd like to be better equipped to visualize the scale to better appreciate what may or may not be going on in the experiment and such. You know, I'm sort of emphasizing the point. I don't want to get into physics and all that stuff, but it's sort of, I think it's important that people don't recognize, I don't think they're realizing that, you know, the small particles are not interfering with a solid object. They're interfering with atoms, you know, with electrons going around them. So they're interfering with force waves that are the mechanism that constructs or hold together atoms, and that's what they're interacting with. They're not interacting with a thing that, you know, medium-sized object that we're interacting with. They're interacting on a molecular level, on an atomic level, and it's a whole different kind of interaction. So anyway, that's, you know, my argument. It's basically that the entire phenomenon has anything to do with waves. It has to do with energy levels, and it's not an interference pattern. It's an energy level distribution pattern, and the fact that it looks like an interference pattern is just the fact that the mechanics, the math of the interference pattern is itself in the function of the force of the movement in a substance. When you create waves in water, you're creating a force wave. And it's the mechanics of the force that create the result, and that mathematics can apply to other circumstances as well. Any circumstance that has a proportional distribution. Yeah, I'll just come up with some kind of word to describe it, but yeah, it's some other thing better than that. Anyway, don't want to get on that subject. So yeah, it was old Fan's birthday, 30 years old. Eek. Takes your breath away a little bit. Spooky. Yeah, I mean, really, by what comparison, right? I mean, it just, I would like to be 30 again. Certainly, if I had the power to be, I'd prefer not to. I mean, it doesn't get any better. That's my only argument there. Yeah, it really doesn't get better. Anyway. Okay, so that's Piro's video. So this is Mr. Natural. It's called the Music by Interval. This is his channel. They did a nice little video, a little song he sang for my benefit. But yeah, quite an interesting character. I don't know why, I'm supposed to know who this guy is. It was in some sort of cartoon in the 60s and the 70s. I don't know whatever. I don't know nothing about it. And I should probably know something about it, but I don't know nothing about it. But it's kind of funny. Yeah, it's funny in the sense that, he has had quite an interesting adventure in his life. And, he's sort of, you wouldn't know it by looking at him. I guess that's what you could say. And, yeah, interesting character. Yeah. So that's been a plus. I didn't see that one coming. And it's been, he has intrigued me. So anyway, and he's, yeah, that's enough said, I guess, right? Yeah, it says, people don't necessarily, I don't want to, people don't impress you too often, I'm just saying sometimes you're surprised by people, and it's sort of surprising. Anyway, so this was another video I watched with Dawkins and the deGrasse Tyson guy, Neil deGrasse Tyson, who I really don't like. And so this is I'd seen this video before, but this is when they're talking about, well, besides just rubbing each other's asses or something, they're having some conversation about extraterrestrial life in the universe, the possibility of it, and how it would be formed, or how it would be constructed. And I just found it just incredibly immature. It's like they don't even think this stuff through. They just say this shit, and they got nothing to back it up with. It's just like, it's kind of silly talk from people who should know what the hell they're talking about. Yeah, that's sort of my opinion. Anyway, so I'll take care of that later. I'll play a clip out of that, I think, because that's, I've probably done it before, but I'll probably do it again, because it is really kind of glaringly unscientific. Alright, anyway, I don't know what this flying thing was. I don't know what this thing is either. Democracy and ethics. Yeah, the Anti-Natalism has been sort of, frankly, I'm just finding it all, yammer. This democracy and ethics thing, like there's some sort of rules about when when a society decides something wrong, and so somehow the wrongness has to be somehow causing some disruption. That just doesn't make any sense. But whatever, to me, wrong is wrong, and there's no problem in de-incentivizing it. I mean, it just makes sense to do that. This is one of them, great guy, made a couple of videos, pretty good. Conference report, found an old picture of his family and such. And, yeah, he was kind of scrawny, as you can see. But anyway, it's an interesting kind of contextual thing. Another one of Gray's videos, another conference report. There's To Be Serious. Talking about prime numbers there, like that's somehow interesting, and I don't find it terribly interesting. From the movie Contact, I don't know. Who cares? I mean, if you want to communicate with the universe and let them know that you have something to say, or you want to give people a sure way. Somebody with an intelligence who might be looking for signs of intelligence. I don't think you have to resort to prime numbers or anything like that. All you have to do is create a signal that is regularly irregular, something that can't be naturally produced. So you could just count to 3, like beep, 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 and then count backwards from 3, and then do, count from 3, go to, 4, 5, 6, and then go backwards, 6, 4, 5, some kind of pattern like that, and just to create enough of an upside downness, a reversal, that just makes it impossible for it to be naturally occurring, and that could be basically your hello. I mean, SOS is sort of universal, and if something starts SOSing naturally, you probably know there's something else going on there. There's something with an intelligence that might be worth communicating. But sending prime numbers, I mean, somebody might not pick that up right away. So I don't think that's a good idea. You want to make it simple enough where our ears would recognize it easily. So anyway, I don't even think Carl Sagan wrote that very well. I don't think prime numbers are the way to say, hello, I'm here. Anyway, Snake Pilskin, I don't remember what he said, but it was probably something stupid. He probably had to have a drink. It's the only way he can get through his videos, apparently, but whatever. Blah, blah, blah. An old F-list video. I don't know why that's on the list, but whatever. Machine Ghost guy posted one of my old videos, the Prometheus review. Somebody else posted a couple of my older videos off VloggerDome, I guess, so that's good. Thank you. I mean, it's nice to see them out there. It's also sort of a good way to see what videos did mean something to somebody, so that's sort of kind of good to know just for the sake of knowing. If I got time to even acknowledge the knowledge gained from that. But, time. I need more time. I need a lot more time. Really stupid warrior. I don't know. Some of the conference report videos are like older videos that he reposted when he unprivated to them or whatever happened. So that's okay. Feta guy made this radical moderate video that ended up being something Anti-Natalism also commented on, is that this is some sort of, I don't think it's a meaningful subject. There's times to be radical, there's times to be fanatical, there's times to be wait and see, keep your bullets dry, or keep your cards close, or whatever the words would be. I mean, there's circumstances dictate a different mode, a different kind of reaction or action. And this idea that one style is the only style to have, I think, is really, I don't know. I can't see the applicability of it. I can't see how that's functional. What you want to be is capable of being anything you have to be, technically, to get the job done. Whatever gets the job done. In the context of, some of us just aren't going to put on baggy pants and sing silly songs. And if that's what's required, well, we're just not going to do it. Some of us. Anyway, conference report. I don't know what these deleted ones were. Somebody apparently deleted something of value. Something I thought was valuable anyway. So that sucks. Old fan did a video on cardinal virtues, just saying, basically he does suck. And of course he does suck. Alright, so this was the guy, I think it's the same guy, Sean Carroll guy, I think it is. Physicist guy. This was sort of just pointing out, like when they ask these physicists, about which interpretation of the two-slit experiment they accept, or interpretation of the quantum effect, or whatever you want to call it. And they have these stupid interpretations, the multiverse, or, the photons split into waves and go on both sides and do this shit. Well, anyway, and none of them could agree. And that sort of indicates that I think we got to do this experiment some more times to see exactly if we can eliminate what exactly is happening through manipulation of the experiment. Let's see if we turn the experiment upside down and shake it and do a few things. Let's see if we can make it do something that'll indicate what might be really going on. But everybody seems obnoxious to that simple premise that maybe this ought to be done right and done in a way where it can be modified easily to see what variables are may be involved in creating the effect. It seems like a perfectly rational thing to do, is to do this thing right, because this Dr. Quantum crap is still out there. I didn't watch this, but it's linked here. And this is just this is a terrible video. I mean, it's got 2 million views. This is what people think is going on. You know, that photons are somehow, they can tell when we're watching them, even when we're not watching them. They think we're watching us, them, and they get paranoid and jump into the multiverse. I mean, it's just it might as well just be a religion. It's so silly. Anyway. Alright, so moving along here. This is my Misery Me video. This is, I don't know what this one was. This was some guy's two-slit video, but it was, oh, this was some stupid thing. Yeah, he was doing, yeah, it was a video game. Yeah, I thought it was a real video, and it was just some guy using a video game to throw chickens through the two slits or something. So it's just stupid. Anyway, ha ha ha, everything's funny. Ha 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 ha, funny, funny world. Paul's ego. It was pretty interesting. I haven't seen, Paul hasn't been in stickam, but maybe that's because he's got this new attitude thing. He's just trying to get well, kind of get healthy, get strong. So he's got a big hookah, style e-cigarette. So he's been doing the e-cigarette, the vaping, like I have for 3 years. And but yeah, he's got one that's just massive smoke that it produces. But there is this two styles, there's these cigarette style atomizers, they're just not quite there. And then these ones that are for like hookahs and bongs and water pipes, and yeah, they have a lot more, they're a little heavier duty, get a better hit. So, but anyway, it's interesting. So anyway, he did a video, told kind of a long stories. He tells good stories, but I mean, I guess they were sort of disappointing stories just because you're like, yeah, I mean, even though I was lame when I was 16, I would never be that lame. I mean, he's in the, he's basically gets to go to like whatever, some sort of orgy house, and he just doesn't, he has the wrong reaction. I mean, he has a reaction where I just don't think that would be my reaction. I think, well, anyway. I mean, you're almost like, gee, I mean, not that you don't want to necessarily trade lives with people, but you just like to trade opportunities, But I mean, I had my shots and I blew it too, so, that's the way life works out, You have your chances and you fuck it up. But yeah, I think it'd be just interesting to see what happens to you. I mean, you could have all these scenarios. It'd be really nice if we could do that in a video game somewhere, where we could just like SimCity our life, and just see how it works out in different ways. Like, okay, what if I had become a millionaire? What if I had become successful in some athletic way or successful in some way? Would I have become one of these typical assholes? Or was there still something inside of me that just demanded that I need to fail? That I need to not become one of them? Would there still be some little force inside of me that said, no, I will not comply, with status quo behavior? Just be interesting to be able to play that out and see what your destiny would have been if you changed an event here or there. And, but so many things you think could have gone well would have gone horribly wrong. Like, say, if you did somehow, you get money, you buy a fast car, you crash the fast car in a tree, and you end up paralyzed, There's so many negative ways that positive things can turn out. There's short-term positives and long-term negatives. So, I mean, life is just sloppy. We have to play it so sloppy, and it would be nice to know what the deal is beforehand. What are we signing up for? What are we shaking? What are the terms of service? It really doesn't spell it out. You don't get to just, even when you're here and you're conscious, you certainly don't get the choice when you're 5. But even when you're adult, you still can't make a real, there's no real consent. You can't know what you're in for, or what you're getting into, or what deal you're really making when you're making a deal. Even the good things you do, you don't know whether they're really going to be good. It's like giving the bum a couple of bucks in the street kind of thing. Maybe you just totally fucked him over. There's no way to know. So anyway, it's good to see Paul's ego making videos again. So we'll have some more stories and such and whatnot. and his big, mighty microphone. So anyway, yeah, it was good. Some other guy I used to like, sort of, kind of, once in a while, was this Jerry Co-movie guy. Well, he's making videos again. It's not one of them, it was just a little bit. Who cares? But whatever. Some idiot reposted one of the stupid Holocaust videos. You know, I'm a Holocaust denier because, you know, I don't buy the, you know, gas chambers and, you know, on every corner kind of bullshit. But whatever. You know, if that's what people want to do to things, if that's an acceptable way to argue, you know, buy our whole story or we'll call you a racist or we'll call you the exact opposite. So, we will ignore, well, it's just such a horrendous way to argue. So petty, stupid, ignorant, idiotic. To take somebody who's an ally and turn them into an enemy. It's just stupid. I mean, I'm obviously quite sympathetic for the burden the Nazis imposed. I'm sympathetic. I'm obnoxiously hostile to every element of what created the capacity for that to happen, the segregation, the bigotry. You know, and here these assholes want to say, I'm the bad guy. They'll use this kind of rhetoric to place me in the evil category. And they think that does the cause some good. I don't think it does. But be an asshole. There's assholes there. The internet's just covered with petty fucking assholes. It's all about the hate. It's all about the gang colors. You know, you belong to a gang, and it's our gang against that gang, and, you know, it really is just preposterously ignorant crap takes place on the internet. The human race is so fucking immature. I mean, really, and the sign of maturity, it's like the Fred thing, right? I mean, maturity isn't being incapable of putting rabbit ears on your head and frolicking around in the woods naked. Okay, that sounds like immaturity, but that's the sign of immaturity, is to recognize the immaturity, to put it in its place, to say it exists as a thing. This is what we are. We're animals. Let's accept being an animal. That's the mature approach. Denying it and pretending you're not an animal is the immature approach. I mean, let's accept our frailties, our fallibilities, our corruptions. Let's be honest about them. Let's call ourselves what we are, petty and selfish and, you know, sometimes short-sighted and small-minded. And then once you do that, okay, you don't have to put this much pressure on the war of the personalities and the individuals, and you can get to the real subject. But these people can't do that because they suck. Alright, anyway, it's enough of videos. It's kind of lamenty, and it's not even, it's just mopey. I'm just yeah, I just sort of have the creeps. Yeah, happens. Yeah, happens way too often, actually. Yeah, I just, you know, way too far behind and such. So anyway, VloggerDome kind of thing. Like I said, if people want to make 5-minute videos, I will respond to your video, make a 5-minute video on a subject, and I will play your video and respond to it, and we can engage in a conversation. But there's lots of subjects I'm going to bring up: the right to die, and democracy, and, well, you know, there's a ton of them. Yeah, so I'm going to get to all those subjects eventually, and I'm hoping that we can have debates on these subjects. So the free will video is up. I thought there was some other video I already made, too, that I haven't put up yet. I don't remember. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Eventually it'll be on the website or somewhere. And so, yeah, the MP3s from stickam will be below. Link to the first links, I guess, should be the ones that are on the player on the website, you know, the cheap player. But you can just download the files and play them at your leisure, too. Or, yeah, that's enough. And then there's some other thing. Yeah, and then I have to do the Puro video. Two slit stuff, blah, blah, blah. There is something else somewhere. Well, I can't remember what it was. But anyway, there's there will be stuff and such. I think that's enough. It's alright, till next time.